to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody.
Morning.
Ben,
Morning.
you're the crowd?
Well, I
The
didn't
short
have
crowd.
anything on the agenda, I just thought I'd stop over and see how the drainage meeting went, and, it was after the agenda was due on Thursday, but I got a quote for, hauling the stockpile from, John's Ag.
Well,
Late Thursday.
we better approve the minutes,
Yep.
or the agenda first, and then we
Motion to
can...
approve the agenda.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second the motion.
Have a motion and a second, any other discussion?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion
Motion to
carries.
approve the minutes.
Second that motion.
Second to approve the minutes from January 22nd.
I didn't check for spelling.
I didn't know, there was no...
I double-checked.
There wasn't anything erroneous, so I'll second Dave's motion.
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. General public concerns, we're,
Now we can take Ben.
Ben, all right,
I was just gonna let you guys know that I did get, rock prices from John's Ag.
okay,
And they are higher than what our figured prices were for our county crews hauling. I don't have the numbers in front of me offhand. I know, John's quote was $4.40 a ton mile haul. I think our prices for the county was something like $3.70.
okay.
You have to guarantee them the amount?
What's that?
Would they do it on call, or you have to guarantee them a certain amount?
That was based on roughly 3,000 ton.
Okay.
So, and like I said, what we do is we use that as a filler in between. So like right now, we've got, crews from each shop cutting trees in their districts. It's 2 to 3 man crews cutting trees, and then we've got 1 to 2 guys that are hauling the stockpile right now. From so,
At least you got something in your pocket for a backup. That's good.
yep, and I talked to John last week, and told him I appreciated the call, and, the time that he took to put together the bid.
So what scenario would you give him, Ben, from the quarry to where? Just for the sake of
He
argument.
gave me prices to all of the different stuff.
But he just basically said so much a loaded mile.
Right. Yep.
Like I said, in our discussion previously, this just works if, you know, like you said, the guys are cutting trees or whatever, and I know there, few of them are stockpiling. It really only works, no matter what the cost is, if they are doing something else.
Right, and
Then
if the weather is poor enough, for some reason we don't get our stockpiles built, it's not the end of the world, we just don't build a stockpile. We just haul from the quarry directly to the road.
Is that sometimes even a better idea?
Well, you know...
And you do some of that anyway, don't you?
Like this year, it was imperative for us to build the stockpile by Thor, because Highway 3 bridge is gonna be out.
Right.
And that's gonna change your traffic, for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
It also gives them an avenue in the spring, when the quarries start getting busier, they've got a stockpile, they don't have to go sit in line.
Right, they're not, right,
A
right.
long time, if, they got rock and Thor, they can go haul over there, or they don't
Mhm.
sit with 30 trucks sitting in front of them,
Right.
trying to get a load, so.
Well, like I said, it's all, a lot of it's, pretty much all of this is weather related. I mean, if we happen to have, you know, stay away from a lot of snow, and it gets a little bit nicer, you know, and if the guys can do something, you know, that was a discussion previous, even at whatever the cost, $4.40 a loaded mile, it might be good for them to haul for a day or two, you know, contract it out.
Well, and my guess is that price is based on them hauling 3,000 ton to a location,
Right.
so.
Well, it gives us an opportunity to at least have it.
But I filed it, yeah.
All right.
And they would do it, and so,
But I know you'd asked for that last.
We appreciate it.
thank you.
And then see if there's anything for me that's cropped up over the weekend.
Not that I am
Not
aware of.
really.
Okay,
Thank you much.
all right.
Thanks, Ben.
Ben?
The other thing I would, under general public, I just heard on the radio on my way in about the special election coming up for Iowa Central. Would remind people, we pay for those, so
Yep, it's a bond referendum, and is it the election itself, the 6th?
I think that's what makes it.
The kid's gonna be at Rotary tomorrow, give us a pitch on it.
Good, all right. Well, we're a minute late, but we'll take,
She wants money.
I want money.
we all want money.
But she
Go on
asks
up
so
and have a
nice.
seat, Janice.
You asked it nicely, though.
Like, well, thanks
She's
for
got a little
having me
tablet,
here
so she
today.
must be,
Well, I feel like you always run around with tablets. I don't know if somebody does, but making fun of us today. Okay, thanks for having me. I just want to give you an update on Livermore Pool. This year, we employed 10 people. So we're giving back to the community that way. We had 9 kids all the way from Humboldt, Wesley, Livermore, that area, all up to Laverne too. So we, 10 people, and we had an adult manager this year, and the pool ran very smooth. Although, we are starting the beginning to the end.
Hmm.
We have a leak. It's just a small leak. We had a leak company that comes up and checks our water in town, and they found a leak. It's by the diving board. I'm sure the vibration of the diving board has caused a little leak there. So we dug down, and we're planning on repairing that and going on. It's a hard thing to close a pool, you know. So, right now, it's not a very big leak. It's just one leak is all they could find in the whole system, and it's basically digging down, repairing that pipe and going on. So it's not gonna be that big a deal, hopefully. But you know, when it starts, it starts. You know, and our council has to make that decision. But what I'm asking you now is to continue to give us the $1,600 you have in the past. And if for some reason our pool does not open, we don't expect you to honor that $1,600 if you decide to give it to us.
like I said, that's the same as last few years'
Yeah,
request.
Yeah, how many years, yeah.
Alrighty. We'll keep that in mind as we plunge down the road here for our budget.
Janet, does the pool even break even?
Oh, there's not a state in Iowa
Not-
that
not-
breaks either. There's only one that breaks
That's
kind
what
of
I
even.
thought.
and
I thought we had a
that's
discussion last year.
But we lose, our budget is 29,000.
Mhm.
We bring in 5, 6, 7,000, so we're 22. You know, most of that's labor that's going back out to, you know, it's in your community, at least it's being used.
Mhm.
You know, we had one day, we had over 70 kids there. You know, so we feel we are serving the community. The pool serves the community for the shortest life, but the most amount of people versus your libraries and your fire departments and other services that you have. You know, your library service, I don't know, if they have a big program, have 20 kids at one time, you know, that would be big in Livermore. But,
Mhm.
you know, it is what it is.
Right.
Well, it's one of those
Served on
deals,
the-
particularly in small towns, you just don't want it,
Well, how much money does Humboldt lose?
Over 100,000.
Yeah, a lot.
A
Really.
lot.
I was on the pool board down at Gallery when they built a new pool for 10 years. We used to transfer 25,000 every year from city council, just pay the bill.
Yeah, the rec director is one of my good friends, and he says it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
to have
Well,
pools
Humboldt
and-
Pool
But you gotta have 'em.
has a lot of
You gotta have 'em.
problems, and it has a lot of,
They're nice,
the other nice thing, they bring, you know, if you're going to a community that doesn't have a pool, and a community that does have a
Mhm.
pool, you know, that's gonna sway you if you have kids or
Yep.
not, you know, and hopefully it pays off back that way. If the Livermore will grow. We will.
it's like a concrete road versus gravel road. You like it,
Yeah.
you gotta have it.
well, hopefully get the leak fixed, and, yeah, like Bruce
I
said,
don't
we'll
think
take
it's
it
gonna
under
be that big a deal,
consideration.
but they even line those little lines now, like they do sewer lines, they'll even little lines for pool lines. So, we'll have to see in the spring. We started in the fall, just so.
How many people use that chair lift?
We have one person in town, Melissa Hendricks.
Mhm.
She comes down and uses it. She has both legs
Yeah.
removed now. And there was a kid from Laverne that came over and used it. I was surprised, because I really thought it'd be sitting there for,
Mhm.
and the only thing you do is dust it. But they do use it. And the kids, you know, the lifeguards know how to run it, and it's awesome.
Good.
You guys know to get up and leave, and then you're gonna have to come back.
Oh, we don't have to have you get up and leave, do we? Unless you just need the exercise, get up and walk around.
Well, this I do, I should stand up, I just,
So we're, approving the resolution 2018-4.
I gave it a number, I didn't know if you
yes,
have something
no,
or not.
I don't have that resolution.
Okay.
This has
Establish the
been,
water district.
this has been the most daunting task I've had in a long time. I'm sure you're aware of the fact that the city of Pioneer is shrinking. And they have gone once in there before me to unincorporate. And the council is basically on the thought that they are going to unincorporate. I thought it was going to be in 19, and then they backpedaled and they're pushing it back to 20, is their game plan. But my understanding is that I could just dump this all on you guys, and you'd have to figure it out, because it is the county. But I don't want to do that to the residents of Pioneer, and I don't want to do that to you. So what I've been doing is, they have a well, and it serves people. So in order to do that, in order to unincorporate, we could unincorporate, but we have to establish a well district. Because it's not like me and my private well at home. So we've established a district on the city of Pioneer and everybody that serves in Pioneer. And then they have to continue as a subdivision of a government. First of all, we went to the LLC thing. And then I went down to state, and I talked to somebody at the state and said, no, you can't do that because you're using funds from government. So now we have to establish a district under the 357A division of the Iowa Code on establishing water districts. I've talked to the state, I've talked to our rural association. They sent me on to another district, and now have sent me to their attorney. I worked on this for 6 months. And now this attorney, I think, will be the person who will draw up a resolution, but we also have to have regulations and rules established, which are kind of a general thing. And then I'll have to come back to you and ask you to establish that as a district. It's just the city limits. We've already had the area described of where the well is and access to the well, which will go with it, go with the district, and that'll be a part of that district, as owned by the district. And we'll have to have a board set up, and we've already got the board members. It's just jumping through all these loops. So when we get that, she was on vacation, so I didn't get very far. So when she's on vacation, I'll come back. So. and
Well, this would be considered a rural water district.
Yes, it would be.
So, does it its own entity then? Like you said, you have board members that would look after it. My biggest question
It's a subdivision, and it actually not subdivision of a city, it'd be a subdivision
of the county, rural water. So wonder, in all your research, I can tell it's been quite trying. What did they tell you as far as what's the county's responsibility to rural water districts?
I think about absolutely nothing.
Really?
I'm gonna do the A, not the 357, I'm gonna do the A, so they can't even levy taxes. Because I don't think anybody who takes this over is gonna be wanting to do that. So if they need money, what they would do is they would just, anybody who's on that district, then they would have to put that money in there. And if they dissolve the district, they have to come to you and ask you to just dissolve it. So it comes to the point, there's 2 houses in town, the well goes dry, or doesn't work anymore, well then, they would dissolve the district and they'd have to either move or
Dig
dig their
well.
own well.
Do their own,
Approximately, do you know how many people are served by
How many
this?
households are there?
How many are served by this well?
There's 4 households
4.
and the elevator.
5.
That's the tricky part. That's why it can't go into something else, because it serves a public entity, or a business, where you could just do a small district if it was just all residential, but because it's the elevator, you can't do that.
Sounds like you've done your homework.
I'm gonna establish them all over the state.
There you go. There's probably somebody who'd like to...
I don't wanna do that.
So it really doesn't have a whole lot to do with the county.
It doesn't really. You just have to allow it, I guess, is the main thing. You have to allow it, make sure, then you're kind of the overseers of it, like you are cities and districts, well, not the cities, but you are in a way. I don't think there'd be much obligation to you, then they'll have to come back to you. I'm assuming, I don't know the lifespan of a well, after so long, that well will get bad, and they'll have to decide there.
Which direction?
Which direction, and the reason is too, is that the person, the mayor who's been there for a long time is in poor health. His wife's in poor health. And I don't think there's anybody in that city would move forward to keep it going. You know, it's just small town. You know.
Well, when you research rural water districts, and there's a bunch of them across the state, do they typically work by, and of course granted, they'd have probably a lot more members in the district.
Oh, yeah.
Is it similar to a town, city, where they pay X amount a month, towards the district?
Yes.
Will they in this case?
In this case, they won't, because the city has quite a bit of money at this time.
Okay,
And there's so much money in the business type activities over there, so all that money will be moved out of there and into this water fund.
Okay.
This water district fund, and they will live off that for a while.
okay.
You know, and they've done all the major repairs to keep it, they've done repairs to get it as sound as they can until this point.
Okay.
So, and, yeah, they would have to take care of themselves, so then it wouldn't affect you at all, because they won't have to levy taxes, they won't have to do
We can
anything.
just take.
Right, well, then it's their own district, but I mean, the bigger water district would probably pay monthly, yearly, the people that use
And they
it,
can-
and they would have money in a fund to maintain
Yeah, and
the,
that board can make that decision if they wanna do that, even if each family put in $100 a month, I mean,
a year, right,
that'd be $500,
right.
but you don't.
We need a or a
No,
motion to
I
approve
don't
that
have the
then, or-
resolution, the official resolution for you to approve yet, because I just haven't got that far.
We can just have the chairman table it.
We can just
Okay.
Yeah, table it this
table that,
time,
and then when you
And
get
I'll
all
come
the
back.
Mhm.
i's
When we get
dotted
that
and your
done.
t's crossed,
and that way you get it in your packet and you can review it, and you can call me if you have any questions.
thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
works, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Henry.
Thank
too.
you.
So we're scheduled at 9, can we jump down here and do some of these certifications,
Mhm.
if you wish?
I finally got a chance to go through and get the bills put together. It takes a while to dig up all the bills for the notices and the election officials and everything else, so I finally got it all put together. So I have in your packet for you, things that look like this, say election certification on it. I'll need a motion
On
for,
each?
probably should,
Well, let's,
just to keep it
we'll do
clear.
it right, so we don't have to come back and read it.
Yeah, so the first one was the Humboldt school election, on September 13th, 2016. The total bills all added together were $1,322.71. This is billed back to the Humboldt Community School District. So the expenses we incurred, other than our staff expense, we can't charge for staff expense, but everything else, we could.
Motion to approve that, Bill?
We have a motion for the Humboldt School, and a
Second.
All those, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those same sign, motion carries for that one.
The second, is the one from the December 6, 2016 Iowa Central Community College, bond election. That one came up to $2,058.68, and that'll be billed to Iowa Central Community College.
I move to approve the Iowa Central special election
We
bill.
have a motion for the
Second.
Iowa Central, second by Dave. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those same sign, that one carries.
The next one is the February 7th, 2017 Twin River School special election. That was for $1,024.39.
Motion to approve that
We have a
amount.
motion from Eric.
Second.
Second. Any other discussion on the TR? District school, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
The next one is the September 12, 2017 school elections, $1,903.17, and that'll be billed back to Gilmer City, Bradgate, Humboldt, and Twin River School District.
Motion to approve that amount as well to those school districts.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of that motion for the said school district, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. That motion carries.
The next one was November 7th, 2017 city elections. Total amount, $13,680.11, and every city will get billed for their share
For
of
their
that
share of
election.
that.
I move we approve the city elections bill as quoted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries to the city election.
And then our final one that gets us all caught up is the Thor runoff election, which was on December 5th of 2017, $554.79.
Motion to approve that for the Thor runoff election.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you, we'll get those bills out today.
Fairly spendy for, I don't remember what those numbers were, but there was what,
$500 for a tie?
for the time?
Yeah.
We had like 30 people voting.
Yeah, by the time you get the notices in the paper, pay your
Yep.
election officials, and get ballots, and, yeah.
Do we have time to appoint Travis?
Yes. We had appointed Cheryl Reed at your January meeting, but Cheryl is now the chairman of Homeward Housing, so she can't be appointed, she's chairman. So she suggested Travis, so that's why it's on
Fully
there.
accept it.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to appoint Travis to the Homeward Housing Trust Fund Committee.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any other discussion on Travis's nomination? All those in favor?
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve the Veterans Quarterly Report
We have a
for
motion.
December.
Second that motion.
Motion and a second is, we'll remember that we got the presentation last week.
Right?
Yep.
Everything was in place, other than it wasn't on our agenda, so now it is, and we'll accept last week's report. So, motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Still got a few minutes. You got any,
You gonna do reports now?
we could do
I'll
them?
get Kathy, you start at that end and I'll...
Okay, one quick question on this week.
Goes on there.
Okay.
Bruce, is the food pantry tomorrow at 11 still?
That was the last I'd heard, Eric. If I hear any different, I will, give you a holler.
Okay, because I had that wrote down and I just wanted to ask you about that.
That was the word was, is they said it would be here around 11-ish.
Okay. It looks like for me, this past week, we had on Thursday afternoon, the, meeting put together on the discussion of the ag drainage well closures at the Oxbow, and I attended that on Thursday afternoon. And then a couple other things, basically were tabled or canceled or moved, so that was the only official thing I had last week, was that drainage well meeting.
Okay, Tuesday, went to Fort Dodge for Region 5 hazmat, and got down there, found out it was postponed till Wednesday. And she says, didn't you get the email? And I did not get the email, and I checked when I got home, both email accounts, and neither one of them. So she says, I wasn't the only one. But Wednesday it got thrown out anyway, so they didn't have one. On Wednesday, I went to the Midas meeting, in Fort Dodge. Here's the blueprints for the...
Hey, would you send Allison down when
bus
we're
barn.
ready for a report?
If anybody wants to look at it, it'll be the new bus barn.
Thank you, Kid. Thank you very much.
They'd be located out, that's all the stuff on it. It'd be located out there behind, the old distilled water.
Oh,
Where they
wow.
wanna build it.
That's right. You did tell us that.
It'll be, 9 bays, able to put 9 vehicles in it. There's 8 bays and 1 wash bay, and they can park 1 vehicle in there if need be.
So is this gonna be facing north, or?
Yeah, part of it'll be north, and it's laid out in another print in there, I believe. The front of it'll be facing, 7th, if I remember right.
I wondered.
And there'll be an
That'd
office and stuff in there.
They've been working on it for over a year, and they finally got pulled off.
They finally got the property settled and bought, and it'll be identical to the one that will be in Webster City, or the one is in Webster City. It'd be pretty close to it. So, that's the only thing I had official. I didn't make the Oxbow.
Well, you were busy.
Yep.
Okay.
Another meeting.
I got Allison Hauser to come down and give a report on the CSS meeting we had here in Humboldt on, Wednesday. We had 20 of the 22 counties over at Benny's, so it was a good meeting. I'll let her tell you about that. I talked her into it. And then on Thursday, I also attended the drainage meeting out at Oxbow. On Friday, I went to a wide area search meeting, and that was really a good one. We had people there from Alameda County, Jasper County, all over the state of Iowa. It was sponsored by Homeland Security, and the staff included extension service from Texas A&M down at College Station in Texas. We had law enforcement there, we had some of the county commission, or county conservation people there. I hope we never have to use that, but it was really a good meeting. It was just a regional meeting, anybody could attend that wanted to, it just happened to be in Humboldt this time. They went Thursday, Friday, no, I went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I only went Friday, I had something going on the other 2 days, but if you ever get a chance to go one of those, I think it's good. Allison, I asked her to come down and give a report on a meeting we had the other day. She works for, tell us about your position and how you end up here, would you please, Allison?
So my original position was the case manager, director of county social services, so I oversaw case management in 22 counties. I think I had a total of 37 staff prior to the MCO, where they took cases internal. So with that, during that time frame when we redid the pivot project, then I was given the position July 1st of the director of mental health of Webster County, because I served kind of a dual role there as a department head. But with the pivot reorganization then, I ended up having the additional administrative responsibility of Humboldt, Wright, Pocahontas, Cassuth, and Emmett, in addition to Webster for the MHDD program.
Bigger plate.
Yeah, bigger plate, a lot less players. Yeah, we have an employee out of Emmett County, Judy Tangent. We have Donna Nielsen, who's my family support, out of Cassuth. We have Sarah Feldman, who is a service coordinator out of Webster. Brittany Baker, who does the housing specialist. And then we have Jen Sheehan. She's right now on maternity leave until March 7th as well, and she's our justice coordinator. And then Kathy's position is no longer in the MHDD directly. She does the mental health advocate out of Webster. So it's been a lot of changes in our staff. And so with our meeting last Wednesday was probably one of the longest, I would say, too. I think we even had a break and tell them it's lunchtime.
You went into the afternoon on that one?
Yeah, at 12:15, I looked at the phone, like, they have an extra wait staff here, and so we need to order. I think
We told them to eat or they had to throw it out, so we ate and went back to the meeting later.
Yeah, it was, I think we got done closer to 2 by the time I got out of there. It's one of the longest ones I've been in. And at noon, we were still on agenda item 7, so it was a very long meeting. And with that said, I didn't know if you had given them a copy of the new rent. One of the biggest things, I guess, that I feel, in addition to a lot of the services that have been cut, I know Carl has a copy of the proposed new management plan for all the COA lines that we will be decreasing services in the region, for $2 million worth. So it's rather significant in the years that I've been an employee of county social services. But I guess the biggest impact that might see in this community is for the rent. And utilities. In the past, if you met our eligibility and you had a mental health diagnosis and you were current and you weren't above the financial income, we helped assist with some rent to get them back on their feet, and we connected a service coordinator. At this point, we will not be funding any utilities as of effective. It would have been Thursday. And then for rent, we have redone our rent. I'll give you this if you want to go ahead and give a copy out to everybody. The eligibility requirements for rent. So they're a lot more difficult to meet that. They have to have a mental health committal 2 times within 1 year, which the majority of our individuals. Just getting a committal alone is rather difficult. They have to be employed, and then there's a process that we will assist with rent intermittently, up to 3 months. So it's going to make a big impact, I think, even on the GA budget. I think people that come in for GA that then have a mental health get referred over
Is-
And now,
What does GA stand for?
your general assistance budget that we
General
have here.
assistance, okay.
In each community. I know each board has been reaching out to me and just kind of questioning, what that impact will be, because sometimes then they're more, they're eligible for the MHDD side, and now they'd be eligible for that GA budget, to be utilized. I have reached out to Upper Des Moines, to let them know that impact, because they often refer the individuals over to us. I have not had an opportunity to set up a meeting with, Fort Dodge Housing. And there is an actual homeless meeting on this Thursday that I'll be attending, and kind of letting them know the changes, because we've always been that gap filler for these individuals.
A lot of the time was spent on budget, and why we're having a problem. Managed care operations are not getting our money, and we're a stopgap for that, and we're not getting any money, so how many $1 million do we have to cut out there?
Well, I know total we're cutting out $2 million. What we're doing, and it just came out, and I can always come next Monday, is what's called our residential care facility that we used to fund. That's kind of that type of facility where if somebody's been committed, but they're not ready to go back into the community, they can go there. It's a 24-hour supervision, and then we can help assist to transition them back into our community settings. In the western quadrant, the responsibility that comes on me and my team is we have the Pride. We only have 12 people, so we've got a relatively low number, but we do also use Scenic Acres, and we use Prairie View. And so we're going to be getting those individuals transitioned back in the community and community support to the high rate. What we did is we're looking at reducing those rates across the board rather than paying the higher rates for these individuals. There was a meeting that was held on Thursday that Bob had with the other two RCFs to try to reduce those rates, and then we're going to transition those individuals back in the community. As well as in our mental health facilities, we're going to look at transitioning, like we have a few at MHI and Cherokee, and help to transition those back in the community. The average cost of day, I want to say, was $187. I don't have that sheet in front of me, and we have 122 people that we're funding in RCFs right now in our 22 counties, and we need to get that down to 66 to help balance that budget. So that will then put the impact back on us as each quadrant team find providers to assist those people, to find waiver homes. And just getting sometimes the individuals accepted is rather difficult because they do have, high levels of mental health, and so a lot of times we're told no. And I guess the biggest barrier that I see in our western quadrant is we don't have providers here. A lot of the other areas have a lot more providers, and the providers that we do have, we have wait lists. LifeWorks and One Vision do have wait lists in the community, so up to a year, so it makes it rather difficult as to what to do. I have contracted, it was just approved, the Lotus. She's working on the homeless shelter out of Fort Dodge. I don't know if anybody's seen any publicity on that. But they're going to offer what's called peer support, so it can kind of help assist us with some of that gap for providers, as well as we have Freedom Point. So they wouldn't be providing necessarily the supported community living that we normally would traditionally use to, transition these individuals back in the community. But at least it's going to help fill that gap and help those individuals once they've been transitioned out.
We spent a lot of time on budget, we stuck with 3518 as our per capita cost for the county. Each region's got something different. We're all uniform in this 22 counties. And we talked about going down to 32 or 33, but next year you have to go the other way, so.
I think we're at 33 now.
Yeah.
We went down, and now we're gonna go back up. We
Right.
originally at that 35.18. The legislative, a cap on that is $47, so we're still quite rather low compared to some other regions. There was a comparison too that we did, the Eastern Central region, I believe, and can't remember what the other region is that we compared, and looked at numbers as to what they're actually funding compared to what we're funding, and that's kind of how that balance also came with our budget.
Thank you very much for coming down and bailing me out.
Yeah,
You
no
did-
problem. I wish it was better news, so.
Well, the gist of it is, you just don't have enough money.
Right. And we have a lot of people that are used to us or kind of rely on us, and so I've had to say no quite a few times in the last 48 hours that I'm not used to doing, and then coming up with a plan when you have an eviction notice, and they're used to us as that support. So how do we help find natural supports in the community is the concept that we're trying to utilize at this time,
And it's only gonna get worse the way the budget was
Right.
forecasted
Yes.
last week.
Yes.
tighter numbers and,
And the shortcoming of the money is mostly state money?
Well, originally what we had was fee-for-service with case management, so we were able to bill for case management. I still have 2 case managers. I have one out of Webster County, Deborah Smear, and I have one out of Sarah Gordo. So I still oversee that 22 county as kind of a extra piece of my job. And we do what's called the HIP, the fee-for-service. So that generated a large amount of revenue. I think we brought in, I know, over $1 million last year in case management. So losing that piece to the MCOs has definitely cost us, and then we're not getting reimbursed through the MCOs.
That's a big problem there.
For example, we have a lot of providers too. We have like our crisis stabilization, we have one out of Waterloo, and we have one out of CFR. And I think it was on November 2nd, legislature passed that MCOs would be responsible to pay. And we billed and they billed, and we haven't had any revenue generated from that. So it's getting those MCOs then to reimburse too, so.
it was the topic of discussion Thursday night down at CFR.
Was it?
Michelle was at that meeting, so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
well, all we can do is
Thank you very much.
wait and
Appreciate
see
it.
what happens, and we appreciate it very much.
Yep.
You did a much better job than I could have.
Well, we'll all be in agreement there, and thank you for taking the time so that Carl didn't have to try to go through all that.
All right.
Thank you, Allison.
Is that all yours then, Carl?
I think that was it.
Okay.
Bruce?
I had a quick, I had several cancellations, but I did end up, Thursday I was out at the Oxbow with the Ag Closures meeting, and Thursday night I was in Webster City for the CFR meeting. Udmo was canceled until next month, so that was my week.
When's the food pantry truck coming in? You told us last,
She
Wednesday?
told me Tuesday, and the last I'd heard tentatively for 11, but all
On
that
Tuesday.
takes is tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't, I usually can try to catch one of the guys at secondary roads, or they come over, or somebody from John Deere does, so we'll get it.
I'll try to be
No
there.
hurry.
I got it wrote down.
Me too.
So, are we ready to go to drainage?
I move we go to drainage.
Get a motion?
Second. Oh.
Motion and second. Any other discussion? We're in drainage.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Peggy?
Do you have to come back, Peggy, or
Won't be much.
Peggy, anything for you before we dismiss, or we just gonna go right to our work session?
We have Dean Kruger after.
Oh, there, okay. Dean's gonna mess it up.
Seem to get rid of that.
I tried to send you guys some emails on windmills the other day. My computer's all screwed up. I don't know whether you got them or not.
I got 'em.
Did it come through? I sent Eric too, because I had to
Wasn't
transpose it.
as screwed up as you thought, Carl.
I had to take handwritten emails and put on the laptop, and I got some of them wrong.
Yeah, no, it worked good,
Thank you. Bruce, I'm supposed to remind you about the courthouse parking lot, that Marcel is cleaning it, and secondary roads are sanding it.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I let you know that, when we discussed that last couple of weeks ago, I forgot to bring it up last week. When I talked to Doug, and asked him about sanding, he says, well, the only problem I have is sometimes I clean it at like 1:32 in the morning. So then I'm gonna have to jump out of my machine, run back to the shop, get my sander, come back over and sand it. And so when I was talking to Ben said, well, we have sand loaded.
Thank
He's
you.
the first guy out of town, always
Thank you.
whips by the courthouse, and that's the way we've always done it. So that's what they decided. We'll leave it with us sanding, and Doug will just clean it. And I think the first time they sanded it, it was like $40-some. So it was, we have the sander ready. We might just, well, so that's what we did.
Good.
Well, actually, thanks for the discussion with Doug, probably better keep doing that so it gets sanded.
Yeah, well, we don't want someone to slip and...
Right.
Wouldn't want trees to fall down.
Out at the food pantry last week, we had someone slip, so... Anyway, what do you got going there, ma'am?
You know,
Are we bid letting?
No, we're gonna have to redo that. I have a addendum that's on the printer yet from Rick that, added the plastic
Okay.
tile option. And
Where's
he,
that gonna push that then?
he would like to schedule it for the 12th of February at 9 a.m.
Well,
There's currently 21 plan holders.
Is that why you're here, Chris?
Drainage flows? No,
Oh,
I don't have.
no, the...
347,
Okay,
okay.
Dad just wanted me to come to this one.
okay.
So, we're talking 9 on the 12th?
Yeah.
That's for 35 branch C.
See, yeah.
9 o'clock.
9 AM bid letting.
It's at 6 lateral what is it, M6 or something like that. But now it's on C, so, yeah.
DD 35 branch C lateral 6, is that what you said?
It's C, I guess.
I'll just
Well, easy
Call it
35.
that.
35.
Branch C.
So do you need a motion on that to
Sure.
back it up?
Mhm.
Make a motion that we set the bid letting for DD number 35, Branch C, for February 12th at 9 a.m.
Have a motion
Second it.
and a second. And I'd throw this in as a further discussion. There was, when that, was talked about, it was talked about doing it with plastic, and the double wall. And then when it got handed out, it was all concrete. And the people that are, petitioned it were pretty insistent on getting the price for plastic, which we approved. So that's the reason it's been pushed back, so. Anyway, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're now on for the 12th. And I don't know why I wrote it on the 26th.
I got down for today at 9:30 for DD 347 completion.
I believe you're correct, Dave.
That's not on the agenda. What's up with that?
That's what I was here for, just, it was last week and then you continued.
Continued to this week.
Rick,
And he's not here
did he
today.
take a week off? Is he on a cruise too?
He left.
No, not Rick.
Not that Rick?
Rick
The other
Popper.
Rick.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. That
I
was,
was expecting him to be here.
due to weather circumstances a week ago.
Yeah, we had
That was
a mini blizzard thing.
pushed to, yeah, we didn't have it here, but they understand, yeah,
It was scheduled for 9:30 last
Okay.
week.
9:30 this week, too.
I mean, correct.
What I have done.
I do have a damage claim from Workins on that too. And we can discuss that if you'd like.
yes.
He submitted it last Friday. And I'll just pass it down for you to look at, if that's okay.
Yep.
I didn't really know what to do, that's what she...
Good idea.
Sure.
Area and...
That's what he does.
A half mile, so it's...
Well,
Rick got snowed out last week, and we thought he's gonna be here this week, so
Yeah.
thanks for coming anyway.
Yeah,
well, we at least had a
We'll get your bill.
bill, so.
Is this the only one that you got, Trish, for damages?
It is. So we just need to figure out if that's outside of the easement. Well, let me see.
If it's outside what, dear?
We really don't do crop damages
On the easement?
on the easement, so, yeah, that would probably be right then.
No, being Chris is here, we can ask him, does this figure, and the easement being over the project, is this pretty much figured?
I just figured what they destroyed when they dumped their dirt, and drove down, so it was about 16 rows. Took 16 rows times 30 inches, 480 inches, divide that by 12, you get 40 feet.
Yep,
Take 40 feet times a
Half
half
mile.
mile, divide that by 42,560 for amount of acres, took that times what my yield mapping said
yep,
that farm yielded, and then took that times Valero's price for that day or whatever and stuff, so.
Well, that's a fair way to do it, but, so your concern is, was that over the easement area?
I didn't know, I just, when they were out there doing it, they just told me just to figure it that way, so that's
Yeah.
what I did, so I had no idea.
Are you sure that that's, the case?
Well,
Don, because this was a
open
project.
ditch.
Yeah, this was a, okay,
If there's a, yeah, Rick will have to look on the specs, I think, to see what the easement,
this was from, just refresh,
3 and 47.
this from ditch clean out? Ditch clean out, all ditch clean out.
Yep. And I didn't know, that's just what the guy who was there, Rick Peterson, who was there digging it out, he said, this is what you need to do. and so-
Right, no, you did everything correctly, but I see, okay, on a ditch, there is easement on the top of the ditch, if you will.
Mhm.
So that is a fair question that we'll have to find out, because you don't have a filter strip or anything along there.
No.
So the field goes,
It's farm right up to the...
right, right. So that, you understand the
I
concern,
understand, that's fine.
that it might not be liable for crop damages because it's in the right-of-way, if you will, easement area. We gotta get a determination on that, but
Okay, that's fine.
We'll
I
just-
we have it, so and if that's the case, then you did it absolutely correctly. You figured the area.
So, we talked to Hopper,
I think that would be good.
that would be good. We need a motion to table it.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to table this, and then we'll visit with Rick.
Because
Now,
we need to have we need the completion hearing, so we don't have the data for that anyway.
well, that's my next question. So, are we going to set this up, or when we go out of drainage, do you wanna go in and talk to him? Or, I mean, we can't really set it unless we know he's gonna be here the next time.
Right. I don't know if he's going to be gone sometime. I will check,
If he-
pending, yeah.
Can we kick it back a week if he can be here?
Well, kick it back to what, the 5th, you're saying?
Yeah.
What do we got there?
Nothing.
Nothing? Yeah, can we take a short recess and check? 'Cause
That's what I would...
I'd say that 5th, we already pushed it back once.
Right.
Can you
I will.
recess and,
Gonna be here the 12th for the bid letting.
yeah, but this is already 2 weeks past
Right.
due. I'd ask him if he can be here the 5th, we don't have a...
let's take a 5-minute break, we'll try calling him and see if we can, if the 5th is gonna work,
Yep, for this, just for this one.
and then have him give us an answer,
Hmm?
and if not, then we'll go to the 12th.
Okay,
Yep, sounds good?
hang on.
Play the Jeopardy theme song while you're going.
3 and 46.
Is that your final answer? Yeah,